everyone, my name is not Farmer Phil, but I am married to him, so maybe Mrs. Farmer Phil. Phil and Father Phil are away rolling, so you're spending the day with me. Looking at the jobs they got up to. First off, we have to move the fence to weanlings, then we have to feed the weanlings, and then feed the pigs, check the goats, feed the chickens, and then do a bit more diet feeding with Eric later. Yeah, that's it really. So first off, we will go and move the fence. So the weanlings have the whole of this shed, so they're all in here. There's also my heifer and calf in here too. And then they also have access to the kale outside, so it's a bit shitty here just on the gravel where they walk in and out all the time, all day, every day. So we have to turn the fence off. You might also notice that Wilton's scrap bin has been replaced. So the big bin was taken away and he left us back a smaller bin so we can keep on tidying and emptying the place of scrap. So we'll turn off the fence and we'll get it moved. So we have to untie this because it's on its limit of being moved back, and tie it further back, and then we go along and move all the pigtails back, give them just over a metre to munch on for the day. Moved, munching away already, so we'll just walk along now and put all the pigtails back. So we give them about a yard, and then they'll eat that for the day. Nelly! There she is! So the whole way up, move them. So we're moving it every day, giving them fresh. Usually first thing in the morning, but had a few non-farm jobs to do this morning, so it wasn't done. So they're a bit hungry. Hungry for the fresh stuff. It smells just like cabbage. And Nelly is just like that scene in Jurassic Park where there's something moving in the plants. Nelly! There she is! Good girl! At least she's nice and clean after going in it. That is the one advantage. The ground's holding up quite well. It's not too wet. A bit wet where they're coming in and out, but not where they're feeding. These two must think it tastes nicer up here. We always try and keep it in a nice straight line, but never seems to last very long. Untie it off this end if we can. Tie it on a bit further up. Fence moved. That will keep them busy for the day. Keep them quiet anyway. And I see I have one of them escaped already, so we'll go and retrieve him. Taking full advantage of the fence being off for 5 minutes. It is of course a speckled park. In. Come on. Psh, psh, psh. Come on. Come on. Back. Come on. Good girl now. Come on. With surprisingly a bit of help from Nelly and a lowered fence, he's back in. Back up. And do not forget to put the power back on. They're happy there. And fence back on. Fence moved. Now we will start the diet feeder, get it in position because it's not very good for filling there, and we will put a little salad in front of them and they can nibble on that all day too. Time to see how rusty my reversing has got for the past 3 weeks. silage. So they're all outside munching, but you have them later when they come back in and they'll enjoy it. So just throw the rest of it out this side, and then they're all fed for the day. Well, the weanlings are fed for the day. It's them fed, so we'll park up and leave this ready for filling later. The rest of the cattle are being fed in the afternoon or early evening. Aaron will come out and give me a hand, mainly because there's a massive problem with starlings and they're eating all the food. So Father Phil has found that if he's feeding them later on, the birds are eating less of it, which means the bulls and heifers get to eat more of it, which is what we want. So we'll leave this here. Our job is to feed the pigs, so get some of their super sow from in the tipsy bin. Getting about a scoop and a half pellets, and then on top of that as well, because the pellets are not cheap, they are getting some of our own meal mix, just mixed in with it, just to stretch their own nuts. So we'll go get some on top. So here's the girls, Betty and Bertha. So they're still where they are from when we had the pumpkin patch. So it's getting a bit mucky now, especially along the top where they're eating and foraging. It's dry on the bank still, but they're just starting to get a bit bored. I think they broke out on Eric a lot of times when he was away, knocking down fences and tearing up the lawn. But they're quite happy here, aren't you girls? And they definitely enjoy their breakfast time. So their trough is all the way over there as usual. Come on, come on. Where's trough? Come on. So Bertha is the big one, Betty is the little one, in case anyone doesn't know. So they're pedigree Tamworths, not registered though. So they're a traditional outdoor breed. Bertha we actually AI'd 2 weeks before we went away. So she's due on heat now next week or the week after. I need to look at the calendar. So hopefully she'll hold it and we'll have some piglets in the new year, but we'll see. We might have to buy ourselves a boar, or we'll keep trying anyway. Quite messy up the top here outside the ark where they've all been foraging, but then further out it's nice and dry. Their drinkers down there in the corner. So we'll get them moved back into the orchard now as soon as possible. Bit of fresh ground for them, and then when the bad weather comes, they'll go back inside for the winter until spring. Same as last year, and they were quite happy. Probably the end of this week now, or as soon as possible when Philip's back, we'll get the ark moved. There's the ark there. Back into the orchard, and they can strip graze the orchard again and keep it nice and weed free. So as a treat, the pigs are also getting some of our leftover pumpkins from the pumpkin patch. So nothing goes to waste around here. They absolutely love them. But we do have to smash them, because if we throw them in the hole, they roll them into the fences and knock the fence down, and then they escape. So we'll smash these, throw them into them, and then enjoy them later. So anyone that was at the pumpkin patch or watched any other videos would have seen all the birds and turkeys, chickens, everything was out here in this paddock. Bird flu risk, they all now have to be housed indoors. So they're inside in the farm now, in the hen house and in the byre. So we'll take a look at those in a minute and we'll feed them and see how they're doing. So the chickens, well, some of the chickens are in here. So there's the Buff, Sussex, Cruella, Rhode Island, Golden Appenzeller, and a bit of a scrap. And then you see we have big Mr. T, the big bronze turkey. And then the two bourbon turkeys who have got quite big since we've been away. So they're quite happy in here. So like I said before, they all have to be housed now because of the bird flu. So the idea is that they can't be in contact with any wild birds, so we have all netting up here and nothing else can get in. So they're quite happy in here. There's food, there's water, nest boxes there, laying the eggs. So they're not laying very well at the minute, but yeah, so that's some of them. We'll go find the rest of them. So now we have our ducks and our geese. So it's not the nicest spot in the world, but they do have to be all kept indoors now. So unfortunately, this is them for the winter. They've got bales and stuff to perch on and eat on, and they've got their pool, nice fresh water in. You saw the leaky tap. We're fairly happy. And then in here we have our breeding pairs in these 3 cages. So these are our silkies. So they're actually fluffy instead of feathery. So he's the cockerel and then she's the hen. So they just need some fresh food. These guys are chameaux, so rooster and hen. And then here we have the Polish. I don't know if anyone remembers Ryan Gosling, but this is Ryan the Gosling. That big one stood in the pool there. He's grown quite a bit. That's it for the chickens, all fed, that's all we have to do. Bit of food on the ground for the geese and ducks, then away we go. So next up is the goats. We'll go find where the goats are, and if I can catch them, maybe take a look at their feet. It's a bit like that, is the Alfred Hitchcock film The Birds around here at the minute, with all the starlings. They are everywhere. Go down and find the goats. They are by far the most high maintenance animal on the farm at the minute. So we'll just get a few bits out the gator to bring down with us, just in case we need them. Food spray, feet clippers. This is actually for horses, but it's like a digger outer and hoof brush. Also from the medicine store, some antibiotics. So we'll go see what we can do. So while we were away, the goats are down here on the shrubbery, just because that seems to be where they cause the least amount of trouble, and they can stay in the shrubbery, it's all fenced and they can't escape and go see the neighbours, so they were left in here. But it is quite wet down here, which is not good for their feet. So since we've been back, I've been trying to keep on top of them a bit more. A couple of them bad with foot rot, so trying to keep them trimmed and clean, but ultimately I need to bring them inside for the winter. So there's an old stable that I'm gonna try and get cleared out this week so that they can live in there for the winter, and hopefully when they come back out in the spring their feet will be perfect. The plan with them is to hopefully put them in kid next spring. These 4 girls, so there's Gertrude, Grace, Gwen and Ginger. They are the breeding 4, so hopefully they'll be around for a long time. Come on Gertrude! What have I got? Come on! You see she's just limping on her front foot there, which I need to sort out. No! So here they are. So this one's Gertrude. The others are going to walk away now. But Bertie is very enamoured by them. He loves them. Gertrude will have a nibble there. And we'll try and do something with her foot. You let me have a look at your foot? So her foot's actually a lot better than it was. So and then we'll give her a jab of antibiotics too, just to help. Won't we, Gertrude? Yeah. So I've no chance of catching the other 3 at the minute. Generally always requires 2 people. Looking a bit better than they were. Ginger's a very bad front foot at the minute. She's obviously the ginger one. But the other 2 white ones seem a lot better since I trimmed them the other day. By far the most high maintenance at the minute in terms of feet and general upkeep. But they're having a great time. They've eaten all the hedges around the fence. Having a good old time. So yeah, that's the goats. Isn't it, Gertrude? So she'll toddle off now back to her friends, and they'll come back and eat the meal eventually, but they're not too bothered. Quite happy walking under the fence. There's actually no power in that fence at the minute because it's powering the fence for the weanlings. I can get maximum power in that. So yeah, that's it. Nelly will eat some of that until they come and eat it. That's the goats. Little odd jobs that get done every day. Obviously the bees now, they're closed up for the winter, and hopefully they'll stay nice and warm, and hopefully come springtime when we open them up, hopefully they're all still there and survive the winter. To do for the day now is feed the rest of the cattle. So I might just take a walk through the bulls and the heifers and see how much food they've got left. And then we'll get Eric to give us a hand. He's off school today and he hasn't appeared yet today, and it's after dinner time now. So we'll go see. With the bulls on the slats, all sleeping with nice full bellies. Small bit of food left, but they nearly have it eaten. Bulls on the bedded side, all lying, chewing their cuds. Happy bulls. So the bulls the other side of the bedded shed, bedded again. Bedded every day with the straw blower. They'll be bedded again now this evening. Have a nice bed to lie on, and then in the process of the day it turns to mush again. Go and say hello. Oh, go and say hello. You can't eat that. See how the birds are making a mess and just scattering all the feed and pooing all over it, and just a pain. These guys are definitely ready for feeding now. So Bro is being Bro, so we're on our own for feeding for now. I hadn't did it yet. So we've got decided into the heifers. They trained and everything yesterday. So we'll try and feed them. Diet feeder back on. Time to fill her up. Eric has arrived. Just pushed in there. So 2 of us are feeding now, so it speeds it up a lot. This is the bulls now. The birds, I don't know if you can see on this camera, but they're in the passenger shed. When I drive in now, they'll all fly off. Like, they are everywhere. Put this feed into the bulls now. That's it, all's fed. So as quickly as Bro arrived, he disappeared as soon as the last feeder was filled. So all's fed. That's it really. All is quiet, all is fed. So yeah, I don't know if Philip's going to add anything else to this video, or hope you enjoyed seeing what I get up to on a winter's day.
So now I'm back. I'm in the yard. Liv started the video and hope she's kept you entertained. All that's left to be done now is bed the cattle, and Father Phil's going to do that. I'm going to put the bee harvester on the 7618 and give it a wash and start the process of making the video on that too, so that won't be in this one. But we're making a start a bit late. I was hoping to come back and see Father Phil had all ready to go, maybe even be pulled. Didn't happen. Just while I was in the yard, I just wanted to kind of go through some of the things in the 2 weeks, or 3 weeks between honeymoon and wedding, the whole lot we were away, that things have changed slightly. Not a lot has changed. Still as messy as ever. The skip is gone. Well, we have another one. Wilton Recycling come down and picked up the skip we had full while we were away and brought down another smaller skip. I suppose it's half a skip. So we can be pegging in, as we do bits of tidying, we can keep pegging in stuff into that. And it's quite handy. It's very handy to have, and big thanks to Wilton Recycling for leaving it down to us, because it's very handy to have. You do a bit of tidying anywhere, instead of pegging it into another pile somewhere else, you get rid of it into it. The other big thing that has changed, and it is quite unsettling, scary, I don't know what's the best way of putting it, is our silage pit. We have a big chunk gone out of it. For this time of the year, the whole crop is about where it normally is this time of the year. But our silage, which you can see normally, could need to do a bit of tidying. Even when I got back, I done a bit of tidying. We would usually have this, it'd still be out here maybe where the bee harvesters, you'd still be on a bit of an angle coming in. And we're going back quicker than we're eating the whole crop. And we were expecting it, I'm not gonna lie, we were expecting it. That's why we put in the forage rape. That's why we made I think we have about 200, or a bit less than 200 bales stored everywhere. They never made it back to the yard yet, but we have them. But just we're going through the silage. Yeah, it's the most silage I've seen us go through this early on. But we should be okay. We can increase the amount of forage rip we're giving the calves to try and reduce the amount of silage we have to feed them. And we also have all the bales then as well. So we should be okay. Other than that, nothing has changed. Everything is basically the way we left it, except for we've our pit of uncovered maize in. Other than that, nothing changed in the 3 weeks. So anyways, I'm going to go up on the bee harvester and make a start at it now, because I want to have it going by the end of the week so that we can be pulling beef by the end of the week. That is my goal at night now. We'll just pull up at the 1200 for the minute, just so I can get this bee harvester going, because we need to get it into cattle. I was hoping it'd be done while we were away, but it wasn't. However, we get stuck into it, and yeah. So back in, sitting down after the first video at home of doings and goings. So I suppose lived on 99% of everything I was done in this video, from the filming to editing. I only come back in the evening to do a wee bit, but no, I hope you enjoyed it. Back married, all said and done now. Back to the cold face, as we do say. And have you any advice for anyone?
About what?
Getting married?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Just do it.
Well, the one bit of advice that we done, I was looking back, it was very, very good for anyone that's getting married, and that's, if you have a GoPro or two, give them to people, the most outgoing people that you have at the wedding, just to film throughout the day and night. Well worth doing. We done it, and there's some superb memories on it, isn't it? But that's for ourselves, not for YouTube, but definitely well worth doing. But I think that's it, isn't it?
I think so.
All the goats, pigs, chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys. Am I missing anything? All okay?
Yeah, all fed, all watered.
We leave it at that for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That's it from us. Good luck.